Hello, we are back and we're ready to do some tones today. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We'll open up the camera here and we can do a once through and then we'll kind of talk about the strategy we're going to take for this one. Welcome back. We got our bass in the intro. So in the last one, we bust the acoustic guitars together. There might be a little reverb or something I'm gonna have on that, but I don't even know if it needs it yet. That might be a little bit of a later stage. Dun, da, da, da. Those guitar parts, I think that's something that we can just kind of sculpt a little bit. I like some like the trebliness of it, so I want to keep that. That bass, maybe or just do a retrack on it. The tone for that one, we kind of played with a little bit yesterday just by doing the routing for it. I mean, we still played like different distortions and stuff like that to see what blends better, but I want to get the guitars together a little more before we start doing that, because that's supposed to support the guitars. Now we have the clean guitar edition. This one, I think we did add a chorus on it in the last one. So we did a little bit to it, but there's still, we can still play around and try to get like more like a little bit of compression, maybe a little more EQing, and just trying to get it like really in a certain pocket. And there we go. Now we have the clean guitar added onto the chorus part, which is going from a live take to a MIDI take, something that I really haven't done a lot of, so this is kind of an interesting playthrough to decide to start doing it, but we're going to play with that. And this solo guitar is going to be the biggest transition or change, just because that one is going to be with delay, and it's going to have some other like a reverb or something like that would make it a little bigger for it. And you know what? We are going to take a quick second here, and I'm going to put it on a hold screen just so I can take care of something real quick. All right, we're back. My fiance is looking for the vacuum, which I'm like, all right, like we'll see how much background noise this does. We haven't done this one before, so let's get back into it here. Solo guitar. That's going to be the biggest difference, and I'm trying to imagine it like an actual player would. And so it's like, okay, we have a certain rig where this is here, and then when this solo kicks in, it gets a little crazier. Maybe I would hit a pedal for like a little delay or something, just to add a little. Something to it, and then we're also working with like a left and right profile, so we can choose to do something to kind of make it so it's a little more varied. I tend to try to keep things as symmetrical as possible. It's not always the right call, so you kind of have to like watch yourself. You have a habit of that. These are just unison parts, so they're not doing any harmonizing or anything, so it's not going to be that much of a difference, but there's a pickup that's selected, so that's going to give it a little bit of a difference in just the tone. Wrapping it up. I think we're going to bring the synth out a little bit more, so that really takes like the lead, almost like a violin would. We'll go to the outro. Looks like a little B-roll, it's like credits. And then just about one rep through, it starts really fading off. And then we have a blink out, so maybe we'll do like a sound effect. It's not quite a kicker or a stinger, but something like that. So I'm kind of feeling the solo guitar. Let's put on just some delay, just kind of see what is it that's going to make this line up a little bit better as a solo guitar part, and then not get too far into the weeds, and then we'll circle back and we'll kind of maybe do like a little bit of compression on the acoustic bus or just something to see what we can do. Man, I almost hate to do that. I almost would rather go through an EQ and compress channels first. Well, let's leave the acoustic bus alone for the moment. Let's go to the electric guitar that's clean, the MIDI ones that are a little overdriven, and matter of fact, since I'm doing it as overdrive anyways, I'm just gonna go overdrive. Electric guitar overdrive, OD overdrive. There you go. So we'll probably work on the solo one a little bit, and then we'll circle back to the clean, and then we'll get this overdrive one through the whole thing. Maybe even the overdrive and the clean, just because I think the overdriven one is a little more prominent in the total mix. So let's jump in here and let's pull up our mixer. All right. And here's our rig, and this is widely from a preset. And I'm going to pull this to the secondary screen, but we'll make it a little bigger just to... Classic. Alright, we won't make it bigger. We will see our track over here. It's going to be solo guitar. I believe we're doing the right one first. So this is all live sound of the pre-take. And it's a good way to get an idea for the threshold, but that is dead silent. Alright, so we have a little EQ on there just from the preset, a little reverb at the very end. Kind of like a moderate to large size. Let's see, it actually gave us, okay, that's just a value on the wheel. So I'm thinking let's try this like an actual delay pedal. And let's say we have, I like this one a lot, I use this a lot as a standalone. But I'm thinking something really small if we're going before. Maybe like let's try a little tape echo and see. Something like a slap would be good. Oh boy, this is bad. I can hear it. Wow. Holy. What the heck are we doing here? I'm looking for a mix. Where can I put the mix down on this thing? Alright, we're throwing it out. Let's stick to the what we know here. And I'm just looking for like a really, like a wide slapback is exactly what we're talking about. We have a mix knob. See, so that's the difference that we're looking at here. I feel like that's already giving it a little more punch. But it is pushing it back. And this is giving a lot of space, and that's like more of a small space. So we have a little bit of delay just to thicken it up, and then this would be giving it its actual distance. However, I'm not the biggest fan of these cabs in comparison with the control room ones, and I don't know. I just think the control room ones maybe just looks better. Maybe it's just fancier, but I feel like you get a little more control over it, and so I do enjoy that. And something I do keep in mind too is a lot of these Guitar Pro is going to be less like treble than I think like a true recording in a room would be. So I'm not even sure which one to go with here. Let's do 412s. Somewhere around there. I'm still peaking just a little bit. Good Lord. No, you push it just a little harder. Really bright with it. So we're copy and pasting. Let's do an A/B comparison. It's definitely thinner. I think I'm going to put that bass back and play with the levels a little differently. Super, just keeping a little bit more in the pocket, a little blue. This goes so far best. And then we will do one last reverb. Let's go large, and we'll do something just something big. There was a lot of pick attack on that though. ratio is going to be that. Let's go move on to this part. So we have this and that. And EQs just for that automation. We're just working with an AC box, a little British. Okay. Let's go ahead, go into dynamics, and we're going to do the same trick. We're going to go right here. Fast attack, fast release. I'm going to do a slow compressor. Okay, so we got some compressors going into the AC box. It goes through the cab, and it comes out, which is a little saturation. It's just essentially just bumping up a certain band of frequencies a little bit. I like the tone of it, at least alone. Let's go to the left. I feel like it just sounds a little more aggressive. Could just be part of the volume difference that there is now. Let's go ahead, pop this one in. Turn it down just a little bit. I have a feeling coming in is going to make a bigger difference too. Definitely blends in more. You know what I want on it though? I want a little room on it. thinking that will give it a little bit more. We'll have to watch that transition as well. Probably just gonna end up retracting the bass. I want to hear this. We already have a little compression on there. Let's jump into the guitar rig. So we got some pretty heavy compression on this now. Really kind of an ugly sound, but I like that. I feel like that saturation gives a lot of difference. Okay, now let's think of this is kind of like a pedal. Kind of a crazy idea. Lower the attack, increase the sustain. Just kind of smash it a little bit. So what I'm noticing here is this EQ, when I'm boosting the gain on this, it's really beating the heck out of it. But when I increase the gain down in the transient master after the chorus, it's much smoother. So we're sticking to that for now. I think using something like that's not a bad idea because it is doubling. That's the last one. That's the new one. So let's see. If we were to delete and repeat. Let's hear it from the bridge into the next chorus. There's a lot of mud. That's the only thing I noticed. Let's try to get rid of just a little bit of that. Something like that might do us a little more justice. Even then we can add a little more reverb. Let's go medium. Go. This one's kind of more in the middle. Stick it somewhere like this. Well, see how out of whack it is with the overdrive guitars now, though. I'm thinking a little bit of reverb on these overdrive guitars since they're panned further out. that's like bigger but also less in the mix, I think that would kind of create it where you have like the middle has a little bit of a tail, but then the ends have even fainter tail. I'm gonna give it a shot, and if we don't like it, we will take it away. And we're thinking large for this one. I believe we used outdoor stadium before, so let's use it again just to keep it all in continuity. Something like that. So if we listen to the middle, so something like that, like, and then with the outside ones, I'm trying to measure it, so it's like it's just a little bit longer. I want it to be pretty faint. So I will say for the solo guitars, I'm liking the tone, but I feel like it's a little heavy on the reverb. So I'm gonna bring down the mix. I'm gonna have to pull apart those drums. Okay, so I think we got a good idea of what we're working with the guitars. I feel like it's a lot more reverby. We just boosted the synth a little bit. I just want to hear what it sounds like in context. I feel like the solo guitar can still use a little bit more. Let me do a little level check. Oh yeah, that's freaking loud. Okay. Well, good to know. We'll see how bad this messes stuff up. let me go into. We did like a delay pedal back there. I'm trying to think of what would really open this up. Let's just give it another shot. Let's just see what happens. As you can tell, I love the Supercharged UTV. The next thing is these dang drums. There's an easy way to do it. I just can't remember which one it is. It's none of this. There it is. Some of the settings. Okay, so now we're going to name our tracks corresponding to the channel on the set.
And probably will not use the tambourine. Master. Okay. Delete, delete, delete. Okay. Let's go ahead and send this to. See, this is where I need the actual mixer open. Where get this dang mixer on? Okay, so receive from drums. And I believe we want to start on 3 and 4 because it's all of them coming out of 1 at the moment. And then 2 is now we have the kick coming through here. Where won't you go? Oh, just had to solo it. Alright. To the hi-hat. Receive from drums. New, Stereosaurus, 7/8. Then I suppose we will solo it. The last one was 4, so this one will be 5. This one will be 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's see. Alright. We'll go to Tom 4. Wonder why. We'll leave it alone. Alright. We got that all broken out here. We did some tone adjustment. I think we got a pretty good like groundwork here where everything is pretty much in place, and I think the next step from here would be to go into each individual channel and start doing the EQ and compression for each, which is a process which is widely similar as the last one. With the orchestral stuff. Let me throw this out. So I think since it's going to be pretty much the same thing, it's going to be about the same amount of time. I mean, granted, this has less channels than the orchestral thing, I believe. We're looking at 44 total with a couple of buses and some dead channels in the front, of course. But I'm thinking that would be the next step for this, is go ahead and go through. What I would like to do is just kind of take it from the top and just give it a listen through, and then put on the video, give it a listen through, and just kind of look at where we are with it right now, and then also just kind of let some of the tone settings that I've already set kind of like, you know, land and see how they linger. That way, when we come back to it, I can make more final adjustments. The drums are going to be a little different than they were just because now they're all bust out. So that's something to keep in mind, but I just did some on-the-fly mixing, just boosting some stuff that I couldn't really hear. The cymbals are very light, and for whatever reason, the overhead master, the fader was down and muted, so when they did that preset, they were like, do not touch this. I don't know why, though. We might touch it anyways. So anyways, let's go ahead and just take it from the top and just give it a listen through. Toms are way quiet. pretty that's gonna be really tough. Strings, man. I bet it would not be competing as hard otherwise. Is I don't even want it to be that pronounced. Like that might be more realistic to what I'm actually wanting. That way it just has a little closer of a blend to this. And I know it's a different bass. I'm using the P-Bass plugin. I don't mind if the verses are a little tamer. I just want it to have some cohesion between them. It's going to be interesting to hear the blend between these drums. That's like more of the subbiness. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop on the video, and we'll just watch it back with the video and see where it's at.
feel like the clean guitar was a little loud when it came in there.
I see something that could be done. What if I drop this?
Something else I'm considering is like one of those delays, so like the last note, the delay kicks in, so it's like bop, bop, bop. Something with like a long tail line. Again, that would kind of come into processing. That's kind of like the icing on top. It's not really part of the real meat and potatoes of it. Okay, I think we got a pretty good idea what we're working with. I think we got some progress. I think we got a good like general tone for it with some compression, a little more like realistic details. There's a little more like fine tuning that we could still do, but I want to get everything kind of like a base level of like compression and EQ where we go, okay, this is what we're working with. Since we do have the stems for everything, I'll probably do an EQ for the stems. Okay, this is like our channel that we're using. Like this is like our rig. We can do a little tweaking on there, just try to get a little bit closer to what we're looking for. But then in the end, we'll probably do another round of like EQing just to kind of be like, okay, this is pocket. Let's maybe drop some of these, some of those, and that's not so much from the actual raw. Like this is the track, but it comes more from like this is what would serve the song. So I think we're making a good headway on this one. I'm seeing this one maybe 3 sessions total, more to go before there's just nothing really left to say. I probably will track the bass just because there's a heavy inconsistency, but I'm still playing with the idea in my head. I don't want to let it go yet. But I think we're going to go ahead and call it for this one. I appreciate anyone who stuck along and managed to get through this far. This one's kind of a neat one. I like this one. This has been a fun one to work on. We'll have to start thinking of which one's coming next because we are coming to the end of this one. To kind of figure out what we want to do. But until then, appreciate everyone who watches and like, subscribe if you like what you see and want to see more. Feel free to drop a comment if you have a question or a comment or a concern or something for me. I'm happy to respond as needed. But otherwise, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.